Welcome. Right? Or do we wait for the advertisement that may or may not be playing in the first few moments of the show? But it's Astrology and Alchemy, guys.
We can just have friendly banter.
Yeah. I mean, how long does the advertisement really go for?
I was describing, I changed some lighting here. I was saying to Sarah, I actually feel like I look like I'm dead.
But you're not, though.
No, I'm not dead. I'm here.
I was
actually going to wear my Harry Potter, Freddy Krueger sweater and hat, because if you guys were with us on Sunday, my predictions for the year were so gloom and doom. Although we had people that watched Sunday Night Dead that commented in the comments on that video that they actually think the predictions are a good thing, not a bad thing, which I don't know if that kind of makes me sadder. More sad, I guess, however you say it.
Well, and I'm thinking your face color changes when you shift over the light. So it's like a light.
Yeah, it's a light thing, but I think I look green. It's all right. I'm not dead.
You're not dead. So that's good. Chet, Field Guy, Mary, John, Matthew, Jingleheimer, Schmidt, welcome. And guys, feel free to share the show. I did not share the show, but we were here live on Sunday doing our prediction show. If you didn't get a chance to listen to it, go back and listen to it. It's so cool. I really had a good time. Do you know what I mean?
I had a great time.
I continued to have predictions kind of streaming into my mind throughout the evening after the show. And then people sending their private messages of like what they experienced and what visions they saw and how they weren't quite sure how to explain it, but they wanted to explain it. Anyway, it was kind of a cool thing. And if you are out there listening now and you didn't get a chance to listen to Sunday Night Dead, on Sunday night, hence the name, the prediction show for the year ahead. And we told you we'd break it down. Let's take it 1 week at a time here on Astrology and Alchemy, because
this is much more the micro. That show is like big, high level, everything for the whole year, and then we can just sit back and see whether we're right or wrong.
Yeah.
Which I'll just add for this show for folks that maybe never watched the Sunday show. I hope my track record is horrific this year. Last year I was really good. This year I'm going to be happier if I'm like, missed that one, because I didn't like most of the things I was predicting.
Well, and I would say, what we try to, in at least an intuitive space when we work together, is be accurate, relevant, and helpful for those in the Gypsy tribe too. Accurate, relevant, and helpful. Those are kind of those three measurements that I like to stick to with intuitive divination. And in this case, we say the accuracy, man, if it does pan out, that's going to be, it's going to be rough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Might be some economic struggles. There might be some babies, some big life changes, and, maybe some natural disasters. Who knows? But Steph, Ikaz, those of you just popping in, you haven't missed anything yet. Get your pen and papier out and feuille de papier. We're going to get ready to do the week ahead. Dun, dun, dun. You know what Friday is?
13th.
Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th.
No winter camping.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I'm kind of superstitious about Friday. And for those of you guys who got an opportunity to join me, I did an online on the social media where I kind of showed people the behind the scenes process of what it looks like for me to set this up so that I feel like I'm ready to see what synchronicities we have. Let's start with tomorrow. It's going to be Wednesday the 11th. It's a special day. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. It's somebody's birthday. It's somebody's anniversary. Who knows? I do know that it is my dad maybe getting all his tubes taken out, which is always a good thing. He's looking forward to that. Numerologically speaking, people are going to be thinking it's some big special day. But astrologically, guys, only one thing is happening. So you only have to put one little dot on your paper. What's happening tomorrow is...
I was just saying, this is still tomorrow. We didn't jump to Friday. Okay.
No, this is tomorrow. Wednesday the 11th. And the only one thing happening is one of my special days, because my moon sign is in Virgo, moon will be in Virgo, and that's going to be trine Uranus in Taurus. So when you hear that, what do you think?
Power day for Sarah. This is emotions in that detail-oriented space. Trine is synergy with Uranus is that innovative, kind of out-of-the-box thinker, and Taurus, which is stubborn and comfort-driven, and I say stable and indulgent. So I see this as this is because it's in Taurus. People aren't going to move. People aren't going to change, but they're going to either ask for details or be giving details as to why they're doing what they're doing. But you're not going to change anybody's mind. Tomorrow is not. So my advice, tomorrow is not a day to give any kind of sales pitch or convincing somebody of something, because people are going to be entrenched and you're just going to get in the weeds if you try to talk, because that's Virgo's detail. So you're just going to end up in the weeds on things. So
oh, really? 4:30
business, particularly business, I would say, this is not the day to, if you're planning to pitch some big idea or pitch some big customer, I would not want to do it tomorrow.
Yes. Again, I love the synchronicities, because if you get ahead of yourself, try not to get too ahead of yourself. But I've written down kind of, that people are going to be, focused, envisioned, enriching their vision. And you are like entrenched with the details of the thoughts. Write it down. Emotions are going to be detail oriented. People are going to be stubborn about things, but they are going to want to know more and learn more. So I had put down that tomorrow, January 11th, will be kind of a daddy Santa vibe. Wait till your dad gets home, or that checking it twice, naughty or nice. Why did you put the spit wad in your sister's hair? Why did you do that?
See, and I feel like if you ask the why tomorrow, you're gonna get like a 100-page dissertation with all the reasons why. So that's why I wouldn't ask. I wouldn't ask tomorrow.
You wouldn't ask.
People are going to be entrenched, and they are so emotionally in the weeds on stuff that they're just going to give you reason after reason after reason after reason after reason after reason. Save yourself the trouble.
I like that. Certain words that get repeated, like in the weeds. That phrase in particular is a really unique phrase. I really like it. There's a lot of cannabis policy happening around, things popping up. And that's something that when I think of motivations and weeds, what is a weed? Sometimes, dandelions are not weeds. They're really, really high in vitamin K and vitamin C and all sorts of things that you can eat in a salad and put in a tincture. And I just am always like, wow, I wonder what in the weeds, because I always associate it with waiting tables and being overwhelmed. But that's not always what it means for other people. So I put that as like
we mean it at work. Phrase. I mean, this is a biased thing for me. We mean it at work, and when you're in a discussion and it gets way into like minuscule details that aren't helping move things along,
you're stuck.
Yeah, people asking for real, minuscule stuff that doesn't necessarily help drive things forward.
I love that, because it's just, again, linguistics, where it takes you to when someone says something, but you said it in a way that I think that that's going to be relevant tomorrow. So I'm going to just kind of pay attention to that. Write that down in the predictions, guys. Put down your scribbles. What is the universe telling you? Share it in the chat room. Field guy says, man, I don't even work tomorrow, so I won't have that problem. At least not at work. You might find yourself in a plumbing situation or something at home where, who knows? A friend of mine this morning, she said, did you know, I never knew that the previous homeowner put sticky mouse traps behind all the appliances. So then she found herself in the weeds in certain areas. But let's move to Thursday, guys. Thursday, one thing is happening. Mars in direct in Gemini. That's kind of an important.
Is it going direct?
Yes. Mars moves direct in Gemini.
All right. So I feel like
predictions.
I always view Mars as, or Gemini as, which way do I go? And Mars is action. But since it was retrograde, I feel like there was a lot of waffling on stuff. So I would predict Thursday, you're going to see things that may have been stuck, kind of log jams out there things are going to start moving again. So people that maybe have been hesitating between decisions and stuff, they're actually going to pick a path and start going down it. So I'd look for a lot of action on Thursday, a lot of decisions being made, people starting things. I think Thursday is going to be a very busy day on lots of different fronts. So look for that. Decisions being made, things getting done, people taking one path and maybe burning the bridge behind them. It's just, it's going to be all we're
burning bridges for sure. I kind of have in my shadow workspace, like expanding on your D&D character for like hit points. What is it that they're doing? That retrograde coming to an end, those frustrations, if you have been feeling stalled or irritable or frustrated, this is going to be a choose your weapon. So I kind of saw that as a D&D moment of like, what character are we working with here? But now one more thing does happen on Thursday night. The moon will be waning from that sign in Virgo into Libra. Ew. So when you see this kind of happening with Mars, Carson, Steph, what do you see?
Well, I'm curious if we're going to have a Mars aspect coming up, since they'll both be in air signs. But right now, just the moon in Libra. This is emotional. Libra is, they want balance. So they want things nice. They want nice aesthetics. So this is the, if you almost pick, I don't know why this is hitting me right now, but if you think of the, you have like a family gathering and there's all kinds of dysfunction, and you have like the one person that's just kind of like trying to smooth it all over, even if it's like a total dumpster fire. They're just kind of doing their thing and trying to calm it all down. But there's a leadership thing to that too, because it's a cardinal sign, and they're trying to drive this. We're all going to get along, God damn it, whether you like it or not. And so it's interesting. It's balance, it's fairness, it's things nice and peaceful, but they're driving an agenda. It's just not going to be. I always view the different. Aries will be very much in your face over what they want. Libra is its opposite. So Libra will want to move things just as much. It's just they'll do all the behind the scenes subtle stuff. I don't know why this popped into my head. Christmas Story. If you know that movie, the little kid refusing to eat. The dad's Aries going, open his mouth, I'm going to shove it right in. And then he's like, Mom's more subtle. This is the Libra thing. When she's like, what is the piggy make? What is, look at my little piggy. And then he's like eating the whole, like, that's an Aries versus a Libra.
Oh my gosh, I've got to put piggy energy in there. I shared the lonely song, like the theme of lonely. Feelings of loneliness or isolation, but that it's more of the referee, like this I don't know how I felt that, but for me, I've been taking that as a synchronicity for No Man's Land and kind of my respace on that, wanting to do more discussions on that middle underdog energy, but like a desire to force what is right. But what is right, and how is that going to pan out? The piggy thing wouldn't work for everybody. So, it's kind of I like that analogy too. So Friday, guys, Friday the 13th. Are you superstitious about that?
Not really. A little bit, but not really.
Okay.
I do a lot of things and say a lot of things that if I was superstitious, I'd be long dead already, because I challenge fate a lot.
I do too. I think that's supposed to be something that we do as humans. And for those of you in the chat, kind of sharing all the chaos that they're going through and reaching out and asking for thoughts and positive prayers for people that are finding lumps and bumps and all sorts of things in their body and discovering that their vessel is not immortal and struggling with just some of the stresses of being alive. And that's absolutely real. I know you and I have both been through that recently, Matt, with ourselves and family members. So Mary and everyone else in the chat room will definitely send some positive vibes your way. Just remember to, and many people in chat sharing that energy of if you are playing the referee, if you are really in that turbulent, I think the post full moon in Cancer, the start to this year is really like, okay. It's like a movie that just fucking starts. Like one of those movies where you're like, did I miss something? Okay, I didn't. Okay. Why is everyone else so interested? I feel lost. Like, I hate that. That's how it's starting out. Anyway, Friday the 13th. Only one thing is happening. Oh, I almost broke my microphone just there. I heard it pop. Okay, careful. Don't do that. The sun will be in Capricorn. That's already serious enough. And then it is sextile Neptune in Pisces on a Friday, the 13th. Matt, what do you say for that? You know how I feel.
Mostly, yeah. Well, I'm not going to bash my own sign here. I know you don't like Neptune and Pisces, so again, it's that deception and its home sign. So I feel it's just this, like, getting lost in your thoughts, kind of wandering into things, and kind of your own brain and your own thoughts kind of distorting kind of reality or how you view things. If you ever have one of these where people have a conversation and the two people have exactly completely different perceptions of what was said and how it played out. It's that kind of thing. You don't know what's real. And Capricorn's all about achievement. So you have this achievement eliminating obstacles to this kind of delusion. So I actually feel this is almost like misplaced goals or diluted. I see this as a bad decision day on Friday.
Bad decision day.
People are gonna like be in that introspective, deep, deceptive, foggy place, and it's gonna channel their goals and drive to accomplish something, and they're gonna like take on things that aren't good. It's like the person that's not prepared for Everest and tries to climb it and ends up being a permanent part of Everest. It's that kind of bad decision stuff. Think your hobby through. Don't take up skydiving or bungee jumping this weekend on a whim.
I thought about this is so weird. So I just put, pay attention to your dreams, pay attention to the things that are coming at you. And I when I was meditating, I ended up going downstairs that night and watching this movie and falling asleep. But The Jerk with Steve Martin, and how he does things all throughout that movie where, he's putting the glasses on the guy and helping him. Oh my God, it's the glasses. And he ends up becoming a millionaire, multimillionaire. But then he gets sued because someone goes blind and cries off. Like, anyway, I don't want to ruin the movie for you, but it's just full of these really wild catastrophes that you cannot possibly plan for or see. And it's just, I'm finally in the yellow pages. I'm somebody. And then the guy just, poof, and that's the day that the shooter goes plucking somebody out of the yellow pages. Just this.
I need to clarify something really quick for ICAZ and Katie, because I don't want to make sure that there's not problems here. We're not talking Pisces alone. It's Pisces in Neptune. Neptune is the deception. Neptune is the foggy, the dreams, the not. Pisces has that introspective energy in it, that kind of 12th house. So what I'm getting at is when you do this kind of more interest, that combo can get you into this kind of introspective rabbit hole, and then channel it with the goat, Capricorn, that just wants to check off boxes and climb mountains. And it's a kind of combo. So I know Katie wants me to give us positive spin on that. My positive spin on that is if you get any wonderful, like out of the blue ideas of something new you want to try or do on Friday, sleep on it.
Sleep on it. Give time and energy to it. Allow it to marinate. Definitely write things down. Things will be creative and weird and whimsical. But if someone's like, hey, try this, don't immediately, like real genius. Oh, I don't know, something I found in the lab. No. It's just yogurt.
It's also other things like it's not the day to I think I'm going to start doing meth today. It's like
don't try shrooms today. Don't. And this is Saturday. No. Where are we? I've even forgotten where we are at this point. Friday. That's right. Friday
the 13th, Friday night. People are out. Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was. I didn't do this. That's what did it for my brain, man. Is that it on the screen, our old banner, because I'm not sticking up with the banners. I will this time. Watch this. So Saturday, 2 things happen, guys. We wake up. Man, Friday was crazy. Neptune and Pisces. Friday the 13th, things were superstitious. People were picking up seashells and here in the ocean and then thinking that they were in the Bahamas, like it was crazier, that they wanted to go buy a houseboat and live like the ladies' man. Man. 2 things happen. 1, the moon. The moon is waning. I know that we kind of often mention that the moon is not like a planetary there, but it is a movement that I do believe matters. And it's waning in Libra. So it's just really, it's firm in that Libra space. If you have a moon sign in Libra, you're going to feel pretty good. The rest of us, because my moon is not in Libra, what do you feel for that?
I got it. I have. I gotta think about it now. Not that anybody cares where mine are, but now I got to think about it. I got Mars, Jupiter, and Uranus are all in Libra, so I got a lot of Libra stuff. But I see this again. This is the Capricorn cycle, so this is all about achievement. You think New Year's resolutions, all this kind of stuff. At the halfway point, when it peaks at Cancer, it's kind of okay. What am I? What things do I want to achieve that's going to give me security and make me feel better? And now kind of wrapping that all up, I think the Libra part of this, because, Aries was, dive in and do it, the person that goes to the gym and overdoes it and then 2 days later can't move. On the Libra part, Libra is the kind of balancing now. So I'll stick with the gym analogy. Maybe the first week they go 6 times and now the reality sits in of like, okay, how do I can balance this so I'm going to make this work for the whole year? So it's kind of, I view it as getting a more realistic view of your goals on this cycle, kind of bringing balance to it. Hey, this will work, this won't work. And kind of getting a more realistic, sustainable view of the goal that you're going to carry through the rest of the year.
I love that. I love how you kind of mentioning what a person is feeling. I had written down that this is pretty heavy to yin energy. Thinking, trying not to overthink, just being this morning I meditated on that, on how for me it's letting things be, that my power and control struggle is just let it be. And I love that Beatles song, Let It Be, often for that reason, because that's so difficult and hard for me to do. So I feel like this is going to be, when you said security, I was like, dang, that's in that predictive spot. I'm going to write down security there. I see that being something. This is just Saturday morning. Now, Saturday night. Saturday night. So I'm going to put Saturday PM there in the chat so that I can stay organized. You guys write this down. Venus will be in Aquarius. Ooh, baby. Squaring off with that Uranus and Taurus for security and comfort. Yeah.
I'm just going to call out Field Guy was trying to stir the pot.
What?
He just put in there, did Matt hate on Pisces again?
Yes.
No. I'm kind to all you water signs.
Yeah. What do you think about Venus and Aquarius?
So Venus and Aquarius, this is interesting. This is my placement. All right. So Venus and Aquarius, I always view this as Aquarius is kind of like the rebel and out of the box kind of thing. So it's kind of conventional views of things, kind of romantically. So either like a romantic towards just people that kind of stand out and are different, or kind of a different view on things. And this is becoming square is conflict with the whole stable and indulgent, but Uranus is rebelling by not doing. So this is interesting. There's like a rebellious romantic energy, because Aquarius and Uranus, that's the home sign for it. You have this kind of rebellious romantic energy having conflict with your stubborn rebellion piece. So man, I'm struggling with this, to be honest with you, as to how I would describe this. It's almost like a romantic. It's almost like a romantic energy comes across, but you really don't want to get off the couch.
I did Kundalini.
Somebody you were interested in finally contacts you, but your best show is like you're halfway through binging a great show on Netflix and it's raining out, and maybe they'll call me back in 3 months. So,
well, and in the chat room, they're talking about like maybe how this breaks down, because we think Venus, man, that's money and that's romance, but that's also that like movement. So breakdancing is in the realm. That's not so Venus, but kind of, because it's like, I always think of people eating sushi off of people's bodies, or that moment in Titanic where it's draw me like one of your French girls, Jack. It's out of the box.
I always think of David Bowie with Aquarius. It's always out of the box and always changing, because Aquarius always changes. So that's the thing, Not only the song changes, but he like redid his whole image like every like 3 or 4 years. That to me is kind of
and he was always like
always changing,
androgynously sexy and kind of rebellious in that way of like, yeah, that's a great David Bowie. Okay, I'm gonna put David Bowie energy down for that. I had put
Uranus, down. I'm just gonna go far. I'm gonna go a little farther here and say, because it just hit me. Uranus and Taurus is Spicoli from Ridgemont High, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So there, if you want to look at it, it's David Bowie in conflict with Jeff Spicoli. So interpret that however you want.
Going to prom, man. No, you are not. According to my calculations,
I'm by just smoking weed in my van and having a pizza delivered to history class. That is a very. I'm just thinking about this. I know I'm going off script here, but ordering the pizza in the middle of history class, it might be the most Uranus and Taurus thing I can think of. It's rebelling. It's indulging your senses, but you don't even get like they bring it all to you. You just sit there.
Gosh, that movie is so funny. The pirate hat, the whole, if you've not seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Nicolas Cage is in that movie as like a random, just like side friend. And I love that. But there's a lot of really pretty serious themes like abortion.
The weird one too is Heather Locklear works in the same place as the that Phoebe Cates. She's like
the pretzel.
I think you only see like the back. I wouldn't have even known this. I saw an interview thing where she said it. There's like at the end where they're all like pulling the gates down and stuff. She's like one of the girls pulling the gates down at the end.
At the pretzel place at the mall.
Yeah.
Man, malls are dying everywhere. Some cities are turning them into skating rinks before demolishing them. And I think that's an interesting thing, like geocaching. Anyway, Sunday, guys, this is how we do it here on Astrology and Alchemy, talking about how to move this energy. That is a Saturday, so it's going to be kind of a fun vibe for Saturday. People might want to go out and do some breakdancing or go into the casino or doing some old school Pizza Hut showbiz. Are showbiz pizzas even a thing? I don't know. But maybe you did take the shrooms and you're coming down and you go to showbiz. It's going to be a weird and wild Saturday. That's my dog because, I'm a real person. But Sunday, only one thing happens, guys. It's another moon movement. Moon movement. It's the moon. On Sunday, the moon continuing to wane. So that's like less and less and less into the crescent like a fingernail. Into Scorpio.
Now, this is one, And I've actually read, so I don't think I'm too out of line here. And I always hesitate on this because, again, you get the wrath of the water signs. I've read some books where they've called this out too. This is a placement that I feel is kind of dangerous. And I would say it's kind of like a troubling thing because this is Scorpio. Again, I always think of a river. You see that's how the top of the river is going, but it's that channeled, strong current water. You don't know what's going on underneath the surface. So you could just get sucked down. I don't know if you know about, do you know about that? I forget the name of it now. It's like a stream in England that like nobody can go across. And as it turns out, they've like taken some like video cameras and stuff down there. What it is even though it just looks kind of normal on the top, the way the rocks and everything go on it, like the currents inside are like crazy. So like you dive in there and you just get like sucked down and stuff. That's kind of like Scorpio to the extreme, is kind of, you don't know what's going on under the surface, but there's a hell of a lot of emotional intensity. Scorpios are emotionally intense. And so you have the moon, which is your inner emotional world, now in Scorpio. So this is just emotional intensity. So I would say there's a lot of depth in emotions that are going to be on Sunday. But the thing about it, and this is why it makes me a little nervous, is Scorpios don't show their cards. So you could really piss one off, or there could be a really big emotional reaction with the Scorpio. And this, I'm not even talking about Scorpios. I'm just saying with this energy, this could hit with anybody. You're not going to know it at the time. This is something that's going to come up and bite you, a week later, a month later, 6 months later. So that's the thing. It's because those emotions, they're good at kind of keeping it all behind that mask. And then you don't know where that tail is going to come out and get you.
Right. Just like that Mississippi, the old Mississippi. She's like that too. I know people used to be like, why aren't more boats out there, or sea-doos, or people no. Fall into the Mississippi and she'll take you down. And it is. I like the idea that what's kind of moving beneath the surface. I know sometimes the analogy of the duck on the water and their little feet kicking underneath. Katie, Anthony, Mary, Ikaz, all of you guys joining us in the chat. How do you interpret that energy? Be sure and write it down on your paper. Give your time and energy to validating your own intuition by sharing how that is going to come into play. Now, it's a Sunday.
My advice, I'm just going to say really quick, my advice on that then too is I would hold off on having tough discussions. Well, and the moon will enter Scorpio, but it's going to be in Scorpio probably about like 2.5 days. That's how long it stays in there. I would refrain from having kind of deep emotional discussions over those days, because like the reaction may be not what you would like, and you're not going to know right away.
In my meditation space, I put have a safe word. I put safe word Sunday. So I think it's funny to hear you share that there's a little bit of a dangerous vibe, because understanding what those boundaries and limits are is going to be pretty important. Okay, guys, only one thing happens on Monday, and then it brings us almost completely full circle, which is crazy. It seems like a pretty low energy, just one movement each day, not a huge deal. There's only one time in there that we had two things happening, and a lot of moon energy. So when we describe what that means astrologically, that just means feelings. So yin energy, things, your heart and mind, you don't necessarily see or hear those things. It has to be something that someone chooses to share with you, or that you have a good intuitive ability to pay attention and see, because you don't know unless you ask. And even then, are they being honest? You don't know. And are they telling you everything? You don't know. So this yin energy, this moon energy for Monday, put a dot down. Monday. We had Friday the 13th. We had a weekend of Neptune and Pisces, and kind of delusion and shrooms and all sorts of showbiz pizza. Just wild and weird things happen on the weekend. One thing happens on Monday, and that is that the moon, another moon movement, waning in Scorpio, almost gone, almost to a new moon space. But it's squaring off with Venus in Aquarius. That, I think, again, is that romantic, money, Little growl,
Uh,
little gurgle. What are you laughing at? What do you think?
this is bad. So remember everything I said about the day before about the not doing something that they're going to have that emotional. This is like romantic missteps. So to the person with the moon in Scorpio, the person in Venus is going to violate some relationship rule in their mind. That's the Aquarius part. So this is romantic missteps that are going to channel some really strong emotional, like, again, that emotional energy in a Scorpio is intense. And so tread carefully on Monday or even on Sunday, because I feel like people are just going to end up doing stupid things that, and it might even be some kind of rule that the person wasn't even aware that they violated, but they're going to find out.
They are going to find out. And again, I love those synchronicities, being able to have kind of planned this out and have my Excel spreadsheet and sent it out, and knowing what the universe was talking to me when I wrote down, okay, how do I feel based on what I know about astrology? And with your romantic missteps, the word violations with possible predictions and what we see for Monday and political realms and word highlights. And I put choose your fuel correctly. It's almost as if in that scene of, I think it's 2012 with Jake Gyllenhaal, or the End of Tomorrow or whatever it was, that they freeze and they're all in New York, and they're in a library, and they're going through the library to choose which books to burn for energy, and moving the vending machines up from the basement so it doesn't flood and things like that. And
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, the fuel. Be mindful of the fuel.
You nailed it too, because it's also money. So it could be violating some rule, like, you do a favor and you cleaned out the garage and sold something, not knowing that you sold your partner's, like, antique, something that their great grandparent gave them. And so you thought this was really good, but hey, I got $10 for it. And it was
worth.
Yeah, it's that kind of stuff too. So it can be massive emotional or financial missteps too. So be careful with your money and decisions you make on Monday as well.
Careful.
Not so much of it blowing up financially for you. More, it's going to have a bad emotional reaction with somebody else.
It makes me think of, and yes, day after tomorrow. Okay, good. That's what it was. Thank you, Jackie. There was a recent thing here in America, for those of you joining in Australia and a few other countries. Here in America, 35% of households are fueled with or have gas appliances, gas stoves, for example. And when it gets really hot out, when, people are heat, they will go to their gas stove and huddle around it. And like, there was a thing in our government shit show right now, Matt. It's hard to even, but like policies about climate change and banning gas appliances. And like how economically privileged that ban would really be.
Mm-hmm.
Really, for like real. And doing that with, floods and winter freezing, and like, we're going to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do that now. That's Monday. Like, weird. What are you doing beneath the surface? There's something else going on here. What's that about thing? That I just feel like, for money wise, somebody's going to be like, I'm betting on that horse because I like their name. And there's going to be no rhyme or reason, when really it's like they know something. And I don't know if there's any way we are going to be able to know it. Like, what all is, I don't know. There's just a weird vibe on Monday. So yep. I know that if people are wanting psychic readings on, should I do this or should I do that? On Monday, I would not do the things. I would tell someone, I would play into that, like Alice in Wonderland. Who am I? Who are you? I would do motivational interviewing to the end of time on Monday. I would just sit back and nod and go, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I don't know. What do you think? And that's how I would move it. So just to see what I learn. So yeah.
Too. This is again coming from a Cap. I don't have any water in my chart, so I don't have, huge emotional reactions on this. I'm just going to say, because I always try to calm down people that are close in my circle that get flipped out over this stuff. Think of how many dumbass proposals are out there that never ever come close to actually ever being implemented. So,
oh yeah,
I will lose sleep. Don't lose sleep over it. Yes, there's stupid stuff out there. It's just like I have one friend that we would debate back and forth because he was convinced that the UN blueberries were coming to take his guns, and I'm like, well, there may be people that have talked about that. There may be verbiage on it, but it's a long stretch away from that actually happening. So I wouldn't be losing sleep over it yet.
Don't lose sleep over it.
If you knew the intentions, that's why I'm glad we don't get to read minds. Because if you knew the intentions of different people out there and some of the ill things that others wish for others that would like F up our lives, you'd lose a lot of sleep. So it's best just handle the shit when it starts actually manifesting itself in front of you. I'm going on a way around, but I argued this a lot with folks. I was going to say, if you had a village in the past, you had this walled village and you found a tiger print, you could waste all your time trying to rid the jungle of every single tiger out there, or you could kill the tigers that show up near your village. I'm in the latter part.
Man, I'm seeing and hearing not only my children in the background, but there's a lot of people out there getting pregnant, and there are a lot of people out there that are doing that because they are feeling lonely, or they are wanting affection, or they are having a midlife crisis, or they are desperate for EBT funding, just something. Like, I know that that's a crazy thing, but people have babies for all sorts of reasons, to force someone to get out of their marriage, all sorts of weird things. I see Monday as one of those days where people are doing things that seem very romantic, but they're like putting holes in their diaphragms and stuff, like that scene in the parenting movie. I don't know. I just want to be careful. I would just say be very careful and just be curious and be engaged and aware on Monday. And then that's going to bring us full circle to Tuesday. And it looks like we will have some time to take some questions, guys. So only one thing is happening on Tuesday, January 17th. So for those of you asking what day it is, we're only doing 1 week at a time here on Astrology and Alchemy. But Tuesday, again, another moon movement. Dang, a lot of feels, man.
Yeah.
He saw what it was. Did you hear that, guys? Meh.
That's the thing, but I never get crap from the fire signs, and they're the ones that always get that. Neptune and Pisces makes you groan. Not so much Leo. Aries and Sag usually makes me kind of groan a little bit here. Not that.
Yep. Take that.
Not because of them personally, but because, in my opinion, these are two of the biggest signs that crap will, when a planet's in that sign, crap's going to happen. So, and I like
moon.
I like predictability. This is emotional, and Sagittarius is the impulsive one. They're the ones like bungee. They're the ones die in those wild party videos. The other ones like jumping out the window to dive into the pool, like in the middle of the party and stuff. They're just sure, why not?
My best friend is a Sagittarius, and
emotions moving into just impulsive.
She loves it when things go on fire. She doesn't necessarily put things on fire, but when they're on fire, she's just like, oh, look, marshmallows. How'd they get there? Like, just so happens to like have just really came prepared and saw it happen and knew it happened and was there and was front in line and roasting marshmallows.
Sag is the explorer. So just put it this way. This is emotional exploration. So you can interpret that a million ways as to what that looks like. But
I want to know how far this goes. I want to know how much you love me. I want to know how
That's gonna
great this
happen.
is.
Yeah, Tuesday will be a busy day. This is a
About that thing that happened this past weekend when all the crazy shit hit the fan and violations and bans and money and stocks and world exchanges happening on Monday and all this news of security. And you know what, there's that song that came out when the pandemic first opened that like at first I couldn't even hear it because I thought it was so stupid. And then I started thinking about it and it made me really sad. And then I would like cry. Now I've gotten to where I can neutrally listen to it and I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's if the world were ending, would you call me? Would you be here? Would you be in the apartment with me? Would you answer my call if the world were ending? Would you, you know, think about me? Or it's a really sad song. And it's like a poppy song. Anyway, somebody in the chat room will know it. It'll hit us when the time is over. But that is when I think of Tuesday and the moon waning into fire on a Tuesday, mid-January. How do we feel like that is going to pan out for predictions?
I was gonna say, I think I've used this analogy before, but there's memes out there with a whole bunch of things like, sure, I can dance, or sure, I can karaoke, and in quotes, tequila. I've used Sag, particularly the moon in Sag, as like tequila on the universe kind of thing. It's just giving you that nudge of, sure, what the hell's going to happen? Go do it. Have fun. Which can be very entertaining, but maybe not constructive and could be damaging for some folks, depending on what they decide to sure, why not, go do.
Yeah, the trick to gambling is doing it with money that's not yours.
So you're just going to have, I always use that nudge, but you're going to have this big, like, emotional nudge on Tuesday. I think, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Have fun, kids. That's the universe.
Why not?
The universe on Tuesday is just going to be telling everybody, you go have fun, kids.
Aliens are coming. Why not? Do it. So sometimes you just got to roll the dice. That's
you could have a tremendous time, or it could be a giant shit show.
There will be a shit show happening. Yeah. That is for certain.
There'll be people that will fall on both sides of that coin. So
right, this is exciting. This is exciting to see how this is going to pan out for the week. I would say that the predictions are, the predictions are fun. The adrenaline, the decisions, the money, the investments. This is all going to be an interesting watch. I would say for those of you wanting to, follow up on new relationships, not the best week for stable relationship stuff. If you're wanting to make that jump into the new big thing on that business or for close on that house, make sure you get that inspection done. Don't short yourself corners because something's gonna, oh, you didn't know it was built on a cemetery like Poltergeist, like something. Just give yourself time instead of like, yeah, you know what, let's just do it. You only live one, let's just do it. And people are gonna maybe find themselves in where they thought it was dependable. They're gonna be like married in Vegas. Yikes.
This is not a week. Anyone out there that listens to this, if there's any, I'm going to go on the romantic side of this, though, but if there's anyone that you are interested in and considering approaching them, this is not the week to do that.
This is not the week to do it.
This is the week that'll blow up on your face. This is also not the week to start some kind of new project, initiative, hobby that'll blow up on you. This is a kind of just chill week.
It is a really chill week. Don't take anything too personally because everyone's kind of bubbling on high. And you will have really great ideas and you will have feelings of wanting to do this and that and enjoy that, but don't invest in it fully where you go, man, I'm going to go do this. And you call up people to get their excitement with you. And they're like, yeah, no, that's cool. That's fine. Yeah, whatever. And they don't even really give you their full attention because they are not capable. They cannot give you advice or energy because they are not capable. They're bubbling at the edge too. And then so you're like, oh, well, fuck you then. I don't want to then. And either it'll like deflate you or put you in a situation where your perspective to do things may not be ideal. So careful on just long-term life decisions there. this week, I would say.
I'd agree.
Yeah. So we're here in the last few minutes, guys, before we cut on the show. I will always, as usual, share in the chat room where you can find Matt and I both for personal readings. We also do a reading special for a full hour together, kind of like what this show is like, in a platform where we look at your birth chart and we just yap for a full hour about what to expect, what to do, what we hear, what psychic anomalies come flying through the ether. And then we send it over to you to keep forever, to have and to hold until death do you part. Or you can book one live. That's, I think, a little bit more difficult between 3 people. But if you're patient and willing, we are too. And I know some of you guys had reached out about getting a reading. Mini readings, big readings, fat readings, skinny readings, birth chart readings, lunar chart readings. Am I a good match with this person that I'm really excited about readings? And we will absolutely make sure to answer any of your questions and follow up with you guys. So we also do gift cards. Let us know if you're interested. If you want to learn more, we do this every Tuesday. Right, Matt? We're here every Tuesday. Astrology and Alchemy, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're also on Odyssey Radio. If you have a device, a modern device, a cellular phone device, you can download Odyssey Radio. It's an application for free. You can listen to all sorts of fun podcasts and the Paranormal Channel. Very cool. And so I'm going to put in the chat room where you can find us. Any final thoughts, Matt, for the week?
Pull a card. We if folks didn't see it last week, we pulled the same card. It doesn't happen every time, but it's happened more than once. I doubt it'll happen again, but I pulled my card for the week. I actually think it fits. Let's see what you get. Got it? All right. I got 10 of Wands.
Oh, so close.
So I would say this is the card of burden. And I would say how it fits the week is if you don't tread carefully this week and fall into a couple of the pitfalls we laid out, you're going to find yourself very burdened by this time next week.
And the Page of Swords, man, you've got the dude who's capable, who's able. You've got the tools, man. You've got the weird eye thing like a Borg. You are the intern. You've got the badge. You've got the pass. You've got the media slip to get in there, but you are still the intern. So initiation and hazing, beware. This is the Deviant Moon deck. You guys, if you would like a tarot reading, we can do that too. So I've put in the chat room where you can find us. mslozier@yahoo.com, www.theparanormalsarah.com, or wherever you're listening right now. Go click that direct message and follow along.
My dogs in the background are giving you all warnings.
Do it!
Be careful this week.
Do it now!
Be
careful! All right, guys. Until next week.
Have a good one, everybody. Take care.